All right, so once again, this is me trying to catch my genius that's already been expressed, but feels like man, pun also makes me sick a little bit to make this video. Also makes me feel like kind of makes me feel like I'm not doing something for myself. It's interesting how the cat can like get your tongue and just erase you from everything. But what's wrong with me? Like, how is it that I get to the day and age and I can still possibly have like identity crises, or like I can be as intelligent as I can feel and still have trouble or issues with things and with people, and how do I do this, or like feeling like whether I'm weird or someone else is weird. Like, how is it that I could be in this space, and this is the classic sweater that I have on right now, but classic to my personal story. But how is it that I could still be in this space where I'm not the highest vibration of myself? I got attachment issues heavy. And thinking about whether or not other people have attachment issues and shit like that. It's critical. Not critical, but it's just interesting. Or codependency. I feel like attachment and codependency are similar things. Like stuff. I like stuff. I like people. I like weed. I like substances. I like shit like that. I like things that make you feel good. I love mushrooms. Just because of the experience that it yielded. A very important experience, in fact. So that experience brought me to the highest. Made me think the most beautiful thoughts ever. And it's like, you know, imagine a world where people demonize like that activity. They demonize that shit. Like, you only thought that because that happened. All right, cool. So what? Other people. You know, People can be in a crazy ass car crash, have a near death experience. Then they come back thinking differently. Thinking better. You know, or or somebody can have something just bad going. Things have to happen in order for new things to happen. In order for you to get that new perspective. And it's so interesting how good and evil combats each other, but it's really the same shit, like with different names. Like, is it? I feel like it really is the same shit with different names. Or different frequencies. They end up, you end up dead, you end up more life, but like, what's the difference? Because it's all in a cycle, you know what I mean? With that death, you get a rebirth, you know, you born, you die, you know what I mean? It all ends up being the same shit, and I guess just I offended, just offended by people's ignorance. But more than that, it's offended by people's ignorance that are higher beings, that can cast judgment on people. Like, oh, like, I'm just so hurt. I'm just so hurt. I'm just not even hurt. I'm easily influenced. I take on people's feelings so easily, and then I feel bad because I just want to serve something. I just want to be happy. I'm living in the moment. I'm trying to live. I do live in moments, more or less, even though I feel like I do a lot of thinking, and I think that since I'm thinking, I'm not necessarily living in the moment. I'm living in past thoughts, or like in my thoughts, or like future thoughts, or whatever it is. And yeah, I guess I do a lot of thinking, and I have to do less of it. But it's important thinking, It's like conversive thinking, where I can be in situations and I'm talking about it, and I'm in that same situation but at a higher vibration. Seeing what's supposed to be said, doing what's supposed to be done, or like thinking like how could this be done better for like the next time and shit like that. But yeah, there's a war. There's a war, spiritual war against men and women, war against black and white, war against families, other races, ethnicities, and all that stuff. I guess I'm just speaking about it more personally. Yeah, and I just be feeling offended, bro. But wow. Because of the contradictoriness, because of because people need aid for stuff. People need aid. People need medicines. People need better health. And yeah, you go. You know what I mean? What's the difference, bro? Like, for me personally, what I want to do is I want to be on mushrooms, right, with a bunch of people that I'm comfortable and I know, and I want to connect with them that way. And I also want them to be on mushrooms as well, right? But I feel like, I'm stained from, being with my ex-girlfriend and having bad experiences on mushrooms due to me, having unnecessary shit that I'm not honest about, or that I wasn't honest about. So it's like, go deeper, and then it's like, I think I'm the perfect person for myself. I don't think I'm meant to be with anybody necessarily. I think I'm meant to be a monk or something like that, just because, I think my dependency is on things that give me life, like, weed makes me happy, you know what I mean? If I'm like in a fucked up state of mind, I smoke a little weed, I'm in a better state of mind, or I'm happier, my intense thoughts, like they're not as intense anymore. If I'm on mushrooms, like, whew, the thoughts I'm having are incredible, but I know people that don't need mushrooms to have these thoughts, and and like those people, make me feel a way like you need that to have those thoughts when you can just have those thoughts naturally. I'm sure you can. Not everybody has those thoughts naturally. Shout out to people who do. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, but a lot of people are locked. A lot of people who have mental blocks and blocks within themselves and shit like that. A lot of people have blocks within themselves. And yeah, so people need medicine, just like people need Tylenol, just like people need food, just like people need energy for things. Like, that's all it is. Medicine is energy to get you going, like, make some shit work, make catalyst shit. Right? And I was comparing myself to a monk, because, like, yo, do monks, because I think my dependency thing is, like, on weed, shit that just gets you high, Like, I just want to be in a high state, you know, not just so I'm like bad to myself. I want to be in a high state so I'm just like good to everybody, you know, and able to handle that because I can keep up. And I do think that there's a real natural element that I do have already installed from birth, but I feel like that just like, you know, exemplifies it, makes it more bigger, whatever. You know, there's a part of me that's thinking like, what's the point of this video? You know, it's super freestyle, not even. No, just get up and do it, you know, sort of thing. Right? And you know, I'm thinking like, why did that priest can like smoke cigarettes? You know what I mean? Or why did that priest drink, you know, drinks? You know what I mean? Or like Buddhist monks. You know, I found, you know, why is that they could do these things? Because I feel like dependency is important, isn't it? Because you need that energy. Because imagine living life without nothing. You know, imagine living life without needing to eat. Imagine, you know, and, you know, I remember learning, you know, the stages of life and how they began. And it's like dependent. It starts off as dependent, then it's independent, and then it leads to interdependence. You know, we're all depending on each other and everything that we have around us. Like, we get to this stage like, oh, I need that to make me happy. You know, I don't know. I'm the GOAT, and at the end of the day, people are like fucking out of line because they don't know what I know. They don't feel what I feel. But maybe these are GOAT notes for me, and not GOAT notes for anybody else. And you know, but I do want to get to a state where I'm definitely, you know, and I can be, and I do, you know, at times. You know, I've learned a lot about myself. You know, I've learned what prana is and how important that is. Like, to hold a breath, like how I can slow down time, and like, or I can make a moment last forever in that breath, or like last for like a little longer. In that breath. But, you know, thinking about this, you know what I mean? Like, some people can use, I don't know, bro, it's like drugs. What are those? You know, I feel like everything can be considered a drug. I feel like everything can also be considered love. I feel like everything's the same, bro. That's what I do ultimately feel like. Everything's the same. There's no difference, you know, except for like what we say. It is, bro, because it's like, you know, imagine a woman who needs her crystals to feel empowered. You know, like, why you need that? You know what I mean? To make you feel, you know? Like, that's an aid. Like, but it's a natural thing. And cool. And there's somebody else who, you know, to tap in. It's a different world, different environment. You know what I mean? You know what? You know, in many cases, you know what? I don't know why I want to say lean. I don't drink lean, but, you know, that shit could be like slave food, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, just use what he got. You know what I mean? So we can eat and be happy. You know what I mean? Like, just use what we got. I feel like that's definitely the same thing. Like, and niggas and people historically do like repeat slave traditions, like chitlins or fucking eating potato peels. Like, what the fuck? You know, eating slave food. You know, we eat that. You know, and it's, to some people, it's some cool tradition and shit like that. But this is very. This is very interesting, maybe too personal. And I think those also maybe personal thoughts that I'm having because I judge myself. Like there's this internal you know voice thing that like yo fuck it. That's like yo fuck it. Fuck it, fuck that. You know what I mean? I just say fuck it to all it, fuck it. But I feel like that's not the voice to go towards because that leaves me alone, and that's not what I want to do. That leaves me having to start all over, and then it's like I got attachment shit. It's like things that so many things I've come across that I like, and I just gotta like let it all go. Maybe that's what I gotta do. To start anew, but who knows the truth? I hate learning from people. That's what I gotta really, cause I'm so impressionable. Cause it's like I'm trusting you. And I got this book, right? Message to the Black Man, beautiful book. But as I'm looking at that shit, as I'm looking at the book, I'm thinking about myself, and it's like, message to the black man. Who's the black man? Am I a black man? I don't think so. Like my name by birth is not some black shit. My nose, by looking at it, is not some black shit. Ethnically, I feel like my history is literally I'm the most mulatto motherfucker there is. I feel like I'm not a black man. I'm definitely a universal man. Like, what the fuck? Like, black is a color. I'm a human. Beyond a human, I'm not even that. I'm an Etherian. I'm an Ukatarian. I'm an Ukatarian from Etheria. I'm an Ukatarian. That's like that's his own thing. That's a me thing. Message to the universal man, not the black man. But then again, the black man needs the most help. So I guess that's what that is. This feels fucked up. Like I'm not supposed to be a part of something. It's a good part of my own thing. It's interesting, but at least one is in a space where you can heal. I feel like I'm also putting on a show. Nah, I'm not really fucking with it.